So that completes the material for Module 9. In this video, we're going to have a summary. So Module 9 was all about looping, which is repeating code over and over again. Python offers two looping structures, a for loop, where the code block is repeated a set number of times, and then a while loop, where the code block is repeated while a condition remains true. So a for loop, which has this syntax right here, you need an iterable object first. So an iterable is an object where you can step through each item one at a time. There are many iterable objects, strings, where you can step through each character at a time, lists, each item, range objects, each integer. We're going to learn about sets, dictionaries, tuples. There are just many iterable objects in Python. So the syntax begins with for, and then you have to create a loop variable. And this loop variable will take on each item in the iterable. You put the keyword in right there, and then you have to end it with a colon, which in Python means that whenever anything ends in a colon, the next line is going to begin a code block. So this would be the code block that gets repeated for each item in this iterable. So yeah, you can, like I said, you can iterate over any iterable, strings, lists, ranges, is what we saw. Then there are while loops. So a while loop is where the code block gets repeated while the condition is true. So here is the syntax for it. You have while, and then you have a condition that evaluates as true or false. This condition is repeated at the top of every loop. It gets checked at the top. And if it does not ever become false, then you have created an infinite loop. We then talked about a different pattern for while loops. You can say while true, so it's always going to be true, and then break out of the loop with the break statement. We also talked about the continue keyword, which must appear in a loop, just like the break statement must appear in the body of a loop. Continue says immediately go to the next iteration. Don't run any code in the rest of the code block. Break immediately exits the loop. You're more likely to see a break in a while loop where it's while true. And then we did a little deviation to show the random module and talked about modules. The random module is one of the standard, it's part of the standard library. You can think of it as a book in the library. There's all sorts of functions in here to generate some sort of randomness. We used it to generate random numbers in order to play our craps game. Okay, so that is the summary for Module 9 looping.